Today I'm going to be talking about Ford Motors consumer value chain, along with Porter's 5 Forces concepts, and kind of how that value chain could potentially evolve with e-commerce live streaming and live streaming in general. And then lastly, how IT may play a role in this. So starting off with Porter's 5 Forces, kind of linked to live streaming, we start off with threats of new entrants, which could be social media based, could be company based. So now we see a lot of this live streaming being done on TikTok. You might see more companies such as Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter get involved. And then you might see more car companies along the road to get more involved as well, and try to promote their products in that sort of way. And on top of that, more countries, because we see this a lot in Asia right now, you might see more North America-based live streaming for different products. Which moves us into competitive rivalry, which kind of just touched on social media rivals, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all these different rivalries may occur, trying to get the biggest person on that app to promote for different companies. It's a lot of money-driven based. And then on top of that, car rivals might be trying to get promoters on apps as well, and there might be battles in that field just to get the biggest voice out there to potentially bring in the most revenue, what have you. That moves us on to number 3, which is threat of substitutions, which right now we have a lot of commercials, a lot of outdoor ads, a lot of pop-up ads and stuff, but live streaming is very big for the younger generation who's kind of moving into the stage where you might want to buy a car. You're on TikTok anyway, you're just scrolling through, you might see a live stream about a product. That's a huge way to get more eyes on a product, because people are already on there for hours and hours on end, and it beats just doing a 30-second commercial. And a lot of these live streamers make it interesting. Which moves us into buyer power, which is mostly just purchasing online, and it's e-commerce driven. So the buyer power has become more powerful than ever. You don't have to go into a store anymore and contemplate if you want to buy or not. You can buy by the click of a button. Which moves us on to the last part, which is supplier power, which is just selling online, the opposite side of it, and potential car delivery now instead of having to go pick up your car, and more customization options being online. Moving into Ford's value chain, just quickly, in order they go raw materials, tier 1 and tier 2 suppliers. Tier 1 suppliers supplying to the fourth thing in the value chain, or part of the value chain, which is OEMs, which is the original equipment manufacturers, which would be Ford, General Motors, what have you. Dealer networks at number 5, and then ending up with the customer at number 6. So quickly, not too much would change with raw materials. That's kind of just, there might be more technology based in it, but that would stay the same. Tier 2 and tier 1, it could get interesting for the suppliers. Tier 1 suppliers are the people who supply the parts to companies like Ford, GM, and tier 2 suppliers are the companies who make them, whether it be parts, what have you, for cars. We could see that changing. We could see more reviews about customizable things, so people buying online. And going into OEMs, the people who make the cars, Ford, GM, that should stay relatively the same, but you might see more diversity in terms of what people are posting about, what companies they're reviewing. Dealer networks is just a simple alternative and a more direct way of trading, which changes very drastically with digital media and ending up with the customer. This should somewhat stay the same with live streaming, but potentially again be delivered to you more customizable options. And just finishing off, how IT will contribute. IT will contribute in many ways. Specifically, it'll be really important with things going on virtually and electronically nowadays. IT workers will be relied on to manage online activity, store data, analyze data, to see if this online shopping and live streaming is having positive or negative effects on a company, and how to kind of improve it from there. IT workers will also be in charge of fixing any potential issues consumers may have while being online, and to assist them and make their browsing/buying experience run as smoothly as possible, and make the experience as enjoyable as possible. And then lastly, IT will play a crucial role, making sure that partners and payment methods can be run smoothly online, and that the website is constantly being monitored and updated to avoid crashes or breaches. And then overall, IT will play many different roles in the company, and e-commerce live streaming will only create more IT roles in general, because more people will be online as opposed to in store, which will make for more electronic and virtual roles and jobs, which will make the more futuristic and shopping experience run more smoothly.
With an increase in the performance of webcast software, online shopping has developed from the traditional sales model into real-time live consumption. Many e-commerce companies have invested in the platform for webcast, making live stream plus e-commerce being an effective buying option. Live stream shopping challenges previous marketing thinking, providing buyers with a deeper and more diverse shopping experience through instant communication on the internet, allowing consumers to enjoy online shopping without the need to leave their home. Live stream shopping has become a fast and convenient shopping alternative and has quickly become a marketing strategy adopted by many companies such as the Ford Motor Company to enhance their competitive advantage. The potential of live stream shopping, coupled with mobile applications, allows consumers to instantly consult and give feedback. Live broadcasts greatly improve service efficiency, inadvertently reducing costs, achieving sales adoption, increasing profits, and bringing uniqueness towards companies' models. Therefore, many dealers have been actively involved in expanding to live broadcast platforms and services. For the Ford Motor Company, live stream shopping may be a beneficial service, providing consumers with an efficient, non-clustered resource from their laptop or phone may increase the overall performance of their company. Creating a system that splits up buyers into sub-live stream groups at scheduled times will allow Ford to avoid congestion. The congestion effect would be the main apprehension in order for Ford to successfully deliver an e-commerce live stream shopping service. Live stream shopping would allow Ford not only to sell complete vehicles, but to sell service packages and individual parts for repairs as well. It would not be necessary for Ford to quickly transition or supply a live stream shopping service. The market for salesmen is oversaturated, and although vehicles are rapidly produced, dealerships and online dealerships still manage the frequency of buyers. Live stream shopping can be an aspiration to move towards within the next 10 years as technology and world population continues to grow. Whether the use of live stream shopping can satisfy and gain consumer trust is still questioned by many consumers. Therefore, it would be in Ford's best interest to choose a live stream shopping service that supplies a good credit network as well as pre-sales and after-sales service with consistent leveling.
Retail is an incredibly evolving industry. Typical in-person stores have been shutting their doors at an unprecedented rate. Thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic and shifting buyer habits, more than 15,000 retail locations closed down for good in 2020, with another 80,000 projected to close by 2026. Business as usual is no longer an option. Retailers must reach new customers online and ensure a seamless experience. It's also critical to identify new opportunities for engagement that don't rely on your typical storefront. This is where live streaming can come into play and help in the end goal of selling products. This practice can allow us to bring customers closer to the actual in-person experience of purchasing products. The combination of video and retail helps improve engagement and close the gap between customers and products. It will also help drive sales, and in cases where bidding is involved, may increase the average sales price. For our company that we chose, Ford Motor Company, the live streaming service would be a huge benefit to customers trying to buy a car. As a company, there is already the ability to shop online, but the live streaming would take business to a whole new level. Especially in the process of shopping for a car, part of the experience and one of the key deciding factors is to be able to get a feel inside the car and test drive it. By live streaming, we'd be able to diversify our selling experience by being able to give consumers a more hands-on buying experience when not being able to be in person. Especially in cars, the base models may differ from the features the consumer is going to buy in their car. If we incorporate live streaming, we might be able to fully enhance the vehicles to the consumer's preference and allow them a true opportunity to see what their car may look like. In conclusion, I would say that live streaming is the opposite of disruptive to retail. I think that live streaming is a major asset to companies and something that more companies should look to implement. In an ever-changing retail world, live streaming would help mitigate the risks of something such as COVID-19 again, where in-person retailing is limited. Live streaming, as mentioned earlier, also helps other facets of business. I think that it would be a great benefit to companies who are trying to increase their average sales price and drive sales when people cannot be in person. It's an incredible, valuable resource to a company, and I think one that should be implemented for our company, Ford Motor Company.